Straight into it, man. We're going to break this down based on pass rush ability. We're going to base it on some run defending ability. And then we're going to sum it up with some cons. And honestly, with this dude, you're going to be surprised when it comes down to what kind of cons he has, because I didn't see too many. I'll be honest with you. Now, you already see these pass rush moves are kind of being dialed up by this guy, Byron Young. 300-pound man that we're talking about here. Pretty much. Some people say he's at 295, but over time, within 1 year, I can see him being 300. Probably not known to be the most athletic defensive tackle, potentially a defensive end, based on how Alabama played him. They played a lot of three-down linemen, and he would always line up on that outside right over the tackle. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it, man. You'll see on this first play, going up against Tennessee, a quarterback that was drafted wasn't able to step up because he was able to put that pressure on him. You'll see, like I said, not the most athletic, but this does show a little athleticism. You'll see he's lined up right over the guard, and he comes all the way around to our right side to give a little pressure on that right guard. And watch that right guard and how he's going to end up spinning out of the way. And he ultimately puts pressure on Hendon Hooker, and he's not able to put an accurate ball for his receiver to catch. Now, moving right along, okay? We just looked at some of his athleticism, and we're going to break this play down here because I love the fact that he is lined up to the outside. That's a defensive end, if you ask me. Okay? That's a defensive end. And a lot of people were anticipating for him to be our defensive tackle, which I see him playing on the inside. But with this play alone, he's going one-on-one against the left tackle. You can see he's getting ready to have that posterior arm locked up inside the chest of that offensive tackle. And you can see he gets inside. That's beautiful. You want to see that inside. And then he gets some bend right there. That's a 300-pound guy coming off the edge with some bend. Gets the arm inside the armpit of the rear arm of the offensive tackle. And he's able to rip and ultimately win that rep and come down bulldozing on that quarterback. Ultimately causing a fumble and a turnover. But if we run, that's a 300-pound man bending at the top of his pass rush right here. Nice little bend. Nice little rip. Boom. Lays the money on him. And he goes to celebrate like the big man should. And I love to see that. And the fact that the Raiders really got a guy that's versatile, right? He could play the pass. He could play the run. A lot of people said that his run game was a lot better than his pass game. And I honestly did not see that. I don't know which film everybody is watching, but his pass rush is there. His pass rush is there. Again, you can see him lined up this time a little bit to the inside of the offensive tackle. But again, it's going to be a pass rush one-on-one with that right tackle against LSU. And you can see him coming off the edge. Boom. Look at that post arm right there. He gets inside of the shoulder pads of that offensive tackle. And watch how he's able to pop and then pull down. Watch him pull that. Oof. Watch him pull that. Watch him pull that. Let's watch this a little bit slower. Watch him pull yank right there. That's a beautiful move. Now, the thing is, look at Will Anderson. Look at Will Anderson is just right there. That's crazy. He's to the right of our screen, about to hit the quarterback. But just watching our guy, Byron Young, be able to do this to an offensive tackle is a beautiful sign. It's a beautiful sign. Now he's able to meet the quarterback, and him and Will Anderson continue to wreak havoc for this Alabama defense. You love to see it. This is a starting D tackle for Alabama, and Nick Saban had nothing but great things to say. Now we are moving on to some different plays like the run game. The run game that everybody's saying that he is so phenomenal at. The run game that everybody's saying that he is known for, which I didn't see personally because I feel as if it's just interesting because after you watch this film, like I said, he has pass rush ability. So why is everybody saying like his run game is so much better? For a defensive tackle, you expect your damn run game to be good. That's just what I expect. I expect for you as a D tackle, I expect your run D to be good. Oh, pause. Hold up. That almost came out. That almost came out wild. But my point is that this is what D tackles are known for, to clog up the middle of those lanes. They're not really known to be pass rushers. Yes, you have some pass rushing defensive tackles, and those are their specialty. But as far as being an interior D lineman for Alabama, for being known as a D tackle for Alabama, you talk about a Daron Payne, you talk about a Jonathan Allen. he has that pass rush ability, so I don't want people to think that his run game is so much better. I don't see that, okay? But here we are watching him play this option, and he just plays it nicely. They didn't really have an opportunity because Alabama's just that sound of defense, right? You have the edge coming off of that block, which is not technically how it's supposed to work for the offense, but he gets off the block. Now he's one-on-one with the quarterback, and the outside linebacker is one-on-one with that running back, and that's exactly how you want to play it. He makes the open field tackle, and he gets him down for a short gain. Beautiful play by him, able to get off of that. But here we are is a good one that you would really like to break down. He gets inside the shoulder pads of the offensive lineman, stands him up, a nice little pop, and then rocks him back in order to get a good lane to finish this play off. And you love to see that. You love to see that. He stands up that offensive lineman, right? Boom. Gets inside of that offensive lineman. Now he has control. Once you get control, once you're inside, you have control of that O-lineman. At this point, all the lineman could do is really hold him, because you see where that O-lineman's hands are? He's basically hugging him already. Showing that strength with that right arm. He straight arms him, lifts him up, gets the offensive lineman off balance, and is able to make a lane for himself to make that tackle. So, not to say that he doesn't have any run defending game. He does, and he's displaying it here. Once again, we get it outside. Every time they run to his side, he seems to be doing this. It's just every single time. There's nothing really too fancy or too much to break down on this, right? He's playing that defensive tackle spot very nicely. Look at his strength. Coming out of his stance, being able to lift up this offensive guard. Right? Taking his gap, taking his assignment seriously. He sheds this, pushes him out. The offensive guard doesn't have a chance. Okay? He doesn't have a chance. Completely destroys Buddy, takes him out of the play, comes back, and makes a good play. Helps his defense entirely. Like, this Alabama defense was really able to make plays just because of the simple fact that he was able to disrupt the offensive line's ability to block. And now it gets him out of disarray. And just look at all these lanes defensive players are able to pick up. And if I continue to go on, which I am, you'll see here the only cons that I really have, and this is, I think, based on the Alabama defense. I think it's all strategy here. Excuse me, I don't think this is the play. This is the play. Is that sometimes he'll run himself out of the play. Right, we see on that last play, he didn't run himself out of play because he came back. But on this one, you see he kind of just runs across. And this is part of the defense, so they could open up some things for the other defenders to come in. I understand that could be the idea behind this. But at the same time, you see he just runs himself out of this play. When I feel he could have really made a huge play if he just decided to do what he did on the previous ones. But he kind of runs himself out and he just watches it from the backside. And when we go back to that original one, you'll see he kind of does the same thing. He slants down, or he's slanting upfield technically, and then he turns back and he's able to make a play, which is pretty interesting. But I think that's just all part of the strategy of what this defense is trying to do. Now, again, he's lined up against the guard. This is another run play. Stands him up. He gets eyes on the running back, and he tries to anticipate going for the tackle for loss. And I think if he would have went the other way, it could have been a better decision. But here he tries to go for tackle for loss and ends up getting him on a trail. And the running back gets a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. He ends up making a first down. But I believe if he were to take that interior swim, if he were to try to push that offensive guard upfield and go to the inside, he would have met the running back. But at the same time, gap discipline is still part of what he has to do. So if he would have went to the inside, that entire B gap would have been wide open for a fat lane. So I believe this right here is a pretty good sight for some gap discipline as well. Y'all let me know down in the comments what you guys think about our guy, Byron Young. There's very strong players, and I think this is what we're going for. We're going for strength because we know Max Crosby is a very good player, but he is not the strongest guy. He is a relentless. He has crazy hustle, crazy stamina, but he is not the strongest guy. He has great bend, But with this guy right here and Tyree Wilson, we're going to have two huge guys. And really, we can see a NASCAR package with him, Tyree Wilson, Max Crosby, Chandler Jones. All four of them going after the quarterback could be menacing. You guys let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this guy, Byron Young. Nearly a 300-pound defensive tackle with some band pass rush ability moves. He really knows how to use his hands very quickly. I'm very excited about this pick. I would give this a B-. We do not do C's, and there was no way I could give this a D grade, so I have to give this a B-. Pickup. Love to see what he's going to do and hear everything that's going on out of camp once it starts, because I think he may be out there showing these dudes up on how to use their hands as bigger guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next time, rate the tape.